because they are actually the people who enrolled me into this amazing company, and if it wasn't for them posting their experience, I wouldn't be here today. So just thank you guys so much for everything. I really appreciate it. All right, so who was here the last Super Saturday in November? All right, a lot of people, that's good. So, as Danny said, my name is Jared Foley. I'm currently in the rank of director. I was also selected as a 2020 ICBody not finalist. I'm projecting of what I'm running next, right? Honorable mention, so that was just a huge accomplishment for me. But can everyone stand up real quick? Just need to do something. So, if people were at the last event, you kind of know like what I'm about. Can someone kind of say it real quick?
Win the day.
There it is, win the day. So, we're going to say that 3 times, all right? We're going to count to 3, say win the day. All right, you guys ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Win the day! That was good. That was good. You guys can get a little louder, right? All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Win the day! All right, one last time. I mean, like, the guy Baldwin who, like, started this, let's, like, wake him up a little bit, all right? One more time. 1, 2, 3. Win the day! That's right. That's what I'm all about. That's who I am. Win the day in every single way possible, because if you can win the day, you can do a lot of amazing things in your life. So, before I get started, like, I've been doing this for about 2 years now, right? So, if Shane and Monica would have told me, hey, Jairus, if you decide to start using these products, right, not only will you lose 65 pounds, or win the day, you're going to lose 65 pounds, like that was me 2 years ago, right? That was me. Not only would you lose 65 pounds, you'll look like that. That's like me, like a week ago. Like, you're not only will you lose 65 pounds, you'll build some muscle. So drink the shake and do that. And after that, you'll rent a free trip to Disney World. Like, I'm a huge Disney fan. Like, if you go and drive around Maryland, you drive around Virginia, you drive around Pennsylvania, like, you might meet like one other person that has the same amount of passion for Disney. I mean, that's probably my brother. Like, that's how big I am when it comes to Disney. Like, I have a Disney tattoo. I've been over 30 times. Like, Disney is like my life. Like, not only my life, it's like, it's what I'm all about. Okay, sorry. I'm flying back from Florida. I'm back to Maryland. Like, you'll win a free trip to Disney World. You'll stay in the hotel that you've always wanted to stay at just because you decided to do that. And then you'll be selected as an ICBody honorable mention. The company recognizes you. They post you on their social media. Like, you are somebody that they really want to like promote their ICBody and what that's all about. So ICBody is a 16-week competition where you use the products. You post a before picture, you post your after picture, you write an essay about how it inspired you and how you can inspire other people. For people who don't know what that is, I want to give you kind of what that's about. So not only would you get selected as an honorable mention, you could also run a half marathon. Like, so 2 years ago, we talked to my brother at Disney. Like, so like, again, everything correlates back to Disney. So, like 2 years ago, I've always wanted to run, but like, I was like built for like 10 yards of sprinting. Like, I was not built for that. Like, it didn't exist. But because I decided to do that, I was able to do this. So they were like, oh yeah, you'll finally be able to run a half marathon with your wife, crossing the finish line at the same time. Like, I would have said no. I would have said no. There's no way I could do all of that just by drinking that. But the thing is, I said yes. Like, you have to be willing to take a step out and say yes to something that could possibly change your life. So you never know what can happen if you don't say yes. Okay? Can someone say win? Are you ready to win?
Yes.
Okay. So today I want to talk about a winning mindset. So what does that look like? So when you think about winners, like, what do you think winners have in them? Like, talk to me. Like,
Consistency.
okay, drive, okay.
Positivity.
Positivity, okay, never give up. That's all. Like, intention, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a drive, that's a good one too. Like, everything you're saying is that's like the mindset that winners have. But the one thing that winners really do really well is that they train this. If you don't train this, you're not going to win. And I'm not just talking about in athletics, I'm talking about in every area of your life. So if you train your mind the same way you train your body, the same way you train a dog, if you have like a dog competition, like, you have to be up here. So like, that's what winning the day is all about. So I'm trying to win the day in every way. not just in my health, because I feel like I've done a pretty good job with that. I want to win in my marriage. I want to win as a father. I want to win in business. Like every single area of my life, I want to win it. But I have to really focus on taking care of this. Because the things that you do in your life and the experiences that you've had in your life are going to slowly start to impact who you are. So, who's ever bought a computer before? All right, you open it out of the box, you plug it in, it's running great, right? It's super fast, it does everything that it needs to do, right? Then you start to download programs, you start to download games, you go on websites, you might download something, you might get a virus, and it starts to slow down. And it starts to slow down, and it starts to slow down. And this is the same thing that happens in our lives. We start to do things in our lives that cause us to want to do everything that we want to do, and then something happens and it doesn't turn out the way that you want. You download a program. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to go do that. Oh yeah, but the last time I did that, I failed. So I'm not going to do that again. And then you might do something that's really cool. You're like, oh, I'm going to do that again. And then you're like, but the last time I did that too, it was like this weird thing happened. And then someone's like, why are you doing that? Why do you think you can do that? And you're like, you're right, I can't do that. You really start to put all these horrible thoughts in your mind. And when you do that, you really start to believe it. So the one thing you have to do, you have to train your mind to be stronger, and then you have to actually delete the programs in your mind that you put in them for years. So that's what I'm trying to talk about today. So where you are today is because of how you think. The first time I heard that statement, I was just like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm here in this building, did I think about my thoughts that lead me here? They're definitely leading me up on the stage, I can tell you that much. So who is really uncomfortable about public speaking? Really? Raise your hands again. Who would be really uncomfortable standing on the stage? And you in the jean jacket? Give her hands, give her hands. Trust me, 2 years ago, I would never do this. But what I want to show you is just because she said yes, turn around. You did that. You did it though. Carrie. So Carrie was afraid to do it. I said, hey, you can do it. And what did she do? Yes. Right? It was that easy, right? How do you feel? A little nervous. Yeah. But does you feel a little bit better? Okay, so because you didn't, I got this one. Here. Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of motivation to kind of get you through. Are you saying? Thank you. Give her a hand, give her a hand. All right, so self-development is the most important thing for me. So again, this amazing system helped me unlock the potential that I have in myself, but there's still a lot of self-doubt and a lot of self-defeat that I have for myself. So people in this room, I have Don and Robinson, I always told me, Cherish, you have greatness within you, but you aren't doing it. I'm I'm okay, I'm doing good where I am. I've built this lifestyle that I have for myself. They're no, there's more that you can do. So it's you should go to this personal development class, it might really help you. I was just I don't got money, I got this guy. I made all these excuses, right? Finally decided to do it because I'm personal development is key. So I went and I always told them, yes, I want to develop myself. So I went to the personal development seminar, and at the seminar I learned a lot about myself. And there were 3 areas of my life that I learned that I'm I need to fix this, because if I don't fix this, it's not going to get me from good to great. One thing was self-accountability. So I'm going to tell you some stories. It's going to be pretty hard for me to share. I'm going to share. So self-accountability, being vulnerable, and not being authentic. That was the one that was tough. So I need to take a sip of water. So I'm going to tell you a couple stories. So growing up, I'm the youngest of 3 boys. My father, people in this room who might know my dad, he is the man's man when it comes to sports, health, wellness. He's just that guy. You see that person, you're just he got. This is my dad. The people who are laughing because they know my dad. That is him. He just has the confidence, the swagger. He is just that guy. So growing up, when you have that as the person in your life, you're just I want to be like my dad. Like, that is who I want to be like. So when it came to sports, like me and my brothers, we play sports all the time. And when my cousin's here too, he definitely knows that like sports is just a part of us. Like football, baseball, like basketball, not so much, but football and baseball are like the sports that I really like drew to. And me being the youngest son, I had my two brothers to look up to, and then I also had my dad. So both of my brothers are right-handed. My dad's left-handed. Naturally, I was left-handed. So he was just like, I'm going to have one son that's going to be left-handed. Well, you're going to be that one. So like, I was left-handed, which is cool. So went out and started playing baseball as a kid. I was pretty good. I was a pitcher. I only had a fastball. I wasn't as good as Adam. I couldn't throw a curveball. But like, I would play with reckless abandonment, like throwing the ball as hard as I could, running as fast as I could. And I loved it. It was like the best thing ever. But I was just like, you know what? I want to like try out for like the travel team. Like that's like the natural progression of like sports. You start with intramurals and you go to travel team. So I went out there, travel team, played the same way, running fast, throwing the ball hard. And what do you think would happen? I didn't make the team. And when I didn't make the team, I was like, well, I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to play baseball anymore. So I stopped. This was like the age of like 8. So after that, I was like, all right, football. My brothers play football. My dad played football. All right, let's go with football. So I started playing football. My dad was a quarterback, so naturally, I also became a quarterback. Freshman year of high school, started playing quarterback. Pretty good, pretty decent. Like, I was able to throw the ball pretty well. I was able to run like the option. Like, I was built for 10 yards type of stuff. And had a decent year. Then my second year, my sophomore year, I was like, all right, it's time for me to like kind of like step up and be like that guy. So like I had decent stats, and then it was the last game of the year. I remember like it was yesterday. And the reason why I remember it like it was yesterday because this caused me to like really take my life in a different direction. Walked out on the field. I was like, we're playing a team that hadn't won a game all year long. Like they were the worst team in the county. And I was like, all right, this is my chance to show the varsity coach that I have everything that it takes to be the quarterback for the varsity team moving forward. So I went out there and had a positive mindset. I'm going to do this. It's inspiring my team. And every single time I dropped back to pass, I got hit. Every single time I went to run, I lost yards. Every pass I made, it was like literally the opposite of what I wanted to happen. And I went into the huddle, looked at my guys, and was like, look, I need you guys to block for me. Like, what are you doing? Like, can we do something? And they looked back at me, and you can just see that they were just defeated. And in my mind, I told myself, well, these are the guys I'm going to be playing with for the next 2 years. If they can't do it now, they're never going to do it. So I went out for the next play, same results happened. And after that play, and my brother can attest to it, I walked off the field. Like, in the middle of the game. Took my helmet off. My coach was like, get back in the game. I was like, I quit. He's like, what? I was like, I quit. Walked past the stands, saw my dad in the crowd, and he looked at me, he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I quit. And I looked in my dad's face, and I saw the disappointment in his eyes. And I knew from that point forward, I was like, I never want to disappoint him again. But if it's ever going to be hard, I'm not going to do it. So for the rest of my life, I was taking the easy road. So anything that I would do was going to be easy. Because I didn't want to disappoint my dad, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody else ever again. So naturally, I gravitated to something that was easy. So like computers and IT came just like second nature to me. It's almost like, I need you to set up a computer. I could figure it out in 2 seconds. When it came to like learning computer and coding and all that type of stuff, it was just something that was just very easy for me to do. So I just naturally just did that. So anything that was easy, okay, I'll do that. And I would put my effort into it because it was easy. Like training, like fitness and stuff, super easy. For some people it might not be, but for me it's like really easy. But when you really want to like step into that next area of your life, you're gonna have to do things that are hard. But I was avoiding it like the plague. I wanted nothing to do with it because I told myself in my mind, every time I do something hard, I'm gonna quit, I'm not gonna give it my best effort, and it's just not for me. So I always take the easy road. Who can relate to that? Yeah. And it's hard, it's really hard, but when you start to really understand that the things and the events that happen in your life are the reasons why you do the things that you do, the same way that you learned it, you can unlearn it the same way. It's literally just like a program on a computer. You can hit the delete button and start all over, but it takes time. You have to work at it every day. Every day. Every day. Say, every day. Like literally every single day, I wake up with the mindset of I'm going to win the day. Every day. Get up early. Train. Every day. Tell myself, Jairus, you can do it. Every day. Because if I tell myself that, I will slowly start to believe it. So self-accountability is the one big thing that I really learned at this conference. And once I understood that, I realized I had a lot of resentment towards myself. I had a lot of resentment towards my dad. I had a lot of resentment between relationships I had with other people. So once I realized that, oh, it's not them, it's me. And once I realized it was me, I was like, okay, I'm going to have some really hard conversations. So I told my dad, I was like, look, Dad, don't talk. He said, what? Don't talk. And if people know my dad, he talks. He's very long-winded. And I just told him, I was like, I love you. I didn't need you to be my coach. I just needed you to be my dad. And I was like, because of what you've done in my life, and positive stuff, I've been able to do a lot of things to be able to achieve my life. All right, so let me give you another, story about my dad. So my dad works for the EPA, or worked for the EPA, so naturally, I work for the EPA. My dad went to Bowie State University, so naturally, I went to Bowie State University. So literally, if you see my dad, I should have put a picture of me and my dad up here, but we're carbon copies of each other. But I told him, I was like, look, where I am today is because of you, and that is completely okay. But now it's time for me to live the dreams that I want to live for myself. And it was hard to say that because I don't want to disappoint my parents, and the dreams I want to achieve may be a little I'm going to have to take that step. But the funny thing is, I walked up these stairs, and this is one of my dreams, is to be a public speaker. And I'm doing it, and it feels great. So that's when I was it starts and ends with me, with you. That's the thing that you have to really understand. And again, you have to do it every single day. Then I had to deal with conversations with my old boss. And people in here, I've told them stories about my old boss. She was just one of those people who were just very micromanaging, always on you, just and I was just I'm doing everything right, and I literally was saying I'm a failure. Everything I do clearly isn't working because she's always riding me. I'm a failure, and I would blame a lot of that on her. But the fact of failure it resulted back to all the things that happened in my life when I was a kid, and it continued to be that thing that I had in my mind. So again, I had to work on myself every day. But there's a really cool thing about failure. When you're a people pleaser, I was a people pleaser, because I'm really at that point now, it's just I gotta do what I have to do for me. Yes, it might rub some people the wrong way, but if I don't do what I need to do for me, I can't be who I need to be for other people. So I'm reading a book right now. I'm going to read a little bit of an excerpt to you. It's called The Power of Five. And it's about network marketing. It's written by John Maxwell, who's you ever read a John Maxwell book. It's an amazing book. So he has a section, and he says, failure is your friend. And I was like, it might be your friend. But the more I read about it, I was just failure is an option. Quitting isn't. So you can fail. Write that down. That was a good line. That was a good line. Failure is an option, but quitting isn't. That's good. So in this book, this is what John Maxwell says about failure. He says, when it looks like I have failed, Lord, have you been trying to tell me something? Or failure does not mean I am a failure. It does mean I haven't yet succeeded. Failure doesn't mean I haven't accomplished anything yet. It does mean I have learned something. Failure doesn't mean that I have to be a fool. It means I haven't had faith to experiment. Failure doesn't mean I have been discouraged or disgraced. It means I haven't dared you. I'm sorry. It does mean I dare you to try. Failure doesn't mean I don't have it. It does mean I have something. I have to do something in a different way. Failure doesn't mean I am inferior. It does mean that I'm not perfect. Failure doesn't mean that I've wasted my life. It does mean that I have an excuse to start over again. Failure doesn't mean that I should give up. It does mean that I should try harder. Failure doesn't mean that I'll never make it. It does mean that I need to have more patience. And failure doesn't mean that that you have abandoned me, it doesn't mean that I have a better idea. Amen. So like, I was like, ooh, that's good, because like, failure is your friend. Like especially in this business, like we're gonna fail a lot, and it's okay. But the more you fail, the more you're gonna succeed. Like I always say, now I'm like spacing my mind again. Here we go. I always say, win the day. Yes. Thank you. I always say win the day. I was testing. You guys are doing a great job. You're listening and you're paying attention. You're actively listening, which is really key. So I always say when it comes to like if something doesn't go your way, like don't quit, just make an adjustment. Like you have to make adjustments in your life. If something didn't go the way you want to, you have to make the adjustment. So if you're like on a course in your life, I'm going to go to the next slide. Your current situation isn't your final destination. So let's say like you're currently walking down the road and you're like, life isn't going this way, you make a right, and you're just like, oh, it's still the same way, you make another right, oh, it's still the same way. You should probably start making lefts. Like you have to like change the direction that you're going to understand what's going on, right? So like that voice in your head, I mean, he's there, it's probably talking to you right now, like you're always thinking, like who claims this from time to time? I mean, we have my people here, right? So I haven't cleansed in a while. Well, I have cleansed in a while, but I haven't completed the cleanse in a while. It just happens. But it's like, all right, you have all the intentions, right? You start out, you're like, all right, cool. I'm going to cleanse. I got everything I need, right? So I'm like, have my first serving to cleanse, and I'm like, walk in, and I'm like, and that voice is like, don't you want some, what's the name of that candy you like? Don't you want some Sour Patch Kids? You want Sour Patch Kids, doesn't want to hurt you. I'm just like, be quiet, voice. It will hurt me. Go sit down in the corner. He goes, sits down, but he's still talking. He's like, but you really want it? And then you start to see the color yellow and green everywhere you go. You're like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? Like, and then you eat like one Sour Patch Kid. It's like, oh, it's not going to ruin me. And then like 20 minutes later, you eat a whole box. And you're like, oh, I failed. And your voice is like, I told you. So why don't you go to Popeyes now and get the chicken sandwiches you want? And it's like, okay. And like, it's because like you let that voice in. You have to tell him, shut up. Like literally, you got to tell that voice every day. Be quiet. You are not in control of my life anymore. I am. And if you do it over and over and over and over and over, you're going to finally get to that point that you're like, yes, I can do it. But it takes time and it takes an effort every single day to do it, okay? So, not yet, not for that slide. Yeah, I'm like looking at my slides, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. So, the other thing that you have to do, you have to have courage. Like, you have to be brave. So, during this conference, there was like this time where you're like talking to people and like you share your story and like they write down some stuff and like one of the people wrote down, like, oh, you're brave. I'm like, yeah? You don't know me that well. Like, I'm like kind of brave, but if it's something that I can't control, no, I'm not going to be brave with it. But as we know with the business that we're in and then with life, if you really want to like take that next step, you're going to have to be courageous. You're going to have to be brave. Like, sometimes it's hard to like call your parent and be like, look, I'm doing this, would you want to try this with me? Like, you gotta have a little bit of courage to kind of like achieve the things that you want to do in your life. If you don't, you're just going to continue to be stuck in that same place, and that voice is going to start saying, how would you take it? Like mental health is so important, guys. Like, I think people like downplay it sometimes, but that mental voice in your head is one of the things, like you have to like break that cycle. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to be stuck where you always are. You're never going to achieve the things that you want to achieve. It's a challenge. I go through it every single day. Like, every single day. And the one thing that my friend had told me, one of the tough conversations that I had, and thankfully I had went through this course and I was being self-aware and I was trying to figure out myself. I was like, all right, I'm working on my flaws. She said, Jairus, can I tell you something? And I'm like, yeah, we're having a tough conversation. I was apologizing for some things that I did. And she said to me, she's like, I can't watch anything that you post online. I was like, what? She's like, I can't watch those videos. I was like, why? She's like, because that's not you. So what do you mean? She's like, that's not you. That's not who I know. Like, now that you've apologized to me, I can probably start doing it. But who you were before, you weren't being real. You were being very fake. And you talk about dagger, like, in the middle of my heart, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm trying to be real. She was just like, no. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, I've really got more work to do on myself. Like, when I built that safe bubble that I built because I was look what happened with me in baseball and football, we took that safe route. Like, I made myself think that, oh, I got everything together now. Like, since I've been able to do this, I achieved this. Like, I took a little bit of risk, but not enough risk to, like, make me feel like, to make me feel that, okay, I was able to accomplish that, but it was everything that I had control over. Like, I felt like I arrived, and I was good. I was better than everybody. And what I'm going to put out to the world is what I want to put out to the world. And it's all going to be pleasant, and it's all going to be beautiful. It's all going to be the clean stuff that everyone posts on social media, the best version of yourself, right? But for me to be who I truly want to be, for me to be the person that God is calling me to be, I'm going to have to show a little bit more. Like, and I think we have to do that in our lives too. Like, we have to be really honest with ourselves. Like, if you have resentment towards other people, this is a challenge for everyone in this room. If there's somebody in your mind as I'm talking, you're just like, oh, I should probably talk to that person. Call them. Like, don't wait. Do it. The weight that's going to come off of your shoulders is going to be amazing. Like, just do it. Because we have to, like, deal with that stuff. Because if you don't, it's going to eat at you. And as Shane talked about in this presentation, that stress will kill you. Like, you have to let that stuff go for you to be who you need to be. Okay? So, we're going to kind of wrap this up now. So, there's one thing that I always do, and it was really cool that this seminar really tied it in for me. It's called I Am. So, I have a good friend of mine. They came up with a journal. It's called the New Rhythm Journal. And in their journal, there are 5 I Ams. And basically, you're writing 5 things that you want to do, or 5 things that you want to aspire to do, or what you want to be. So for me, I have young kids. I think I see some kids in here, which is cool. I have 3 little boys. I call them my cubs. Every single day, I say this to them. I say, what are you? They say, I'm amazing. Like, no, seriously, what are you? I'm amazing. And I do that because there's going to be points and times in their life where someone's going to say, you're stupid. You can't do that. Like, go sit down. Why are you doing that? Like, I want to put these things in their minds right now to know that if someone says that, you're like, nope, I'm amazing. It's just because you said that doesn't mean that's what I'm going to be. Man, I was losing my train of thought for a second. But coming back, I got it. Win the day. You got it, Jerry. Win the day. Okay, so somebody's opinion of you doesn't have to be your reality. Right? So that's why I have to tell my kids that every single day. And don't you wish that we had someone telling us those things every single day? Like, if I woke up, it's like, ooh, and someone's like, you're amazing. Like, when you get compliments, doesn't that feel good when someone it's just, you look good today. Nice suit jacket. I like your haircut. I like them zigzags. That flower pattern, you looking good, girl. Like, we can do that every day. And this is all you have to do. You have to tell yourself, I am, right? So I'm glad Shane brought this out. So every morning, I have things written on my mirror, right? I have these I ams that I am, and I tell myself in the morning, I am amazing. I am a motivational speaker. I am capable. I am brave. I am an executive. I am a good dad. I am a good person. I can do anything I want to do. But you have to believe it. But you got to say it to yourself. Because if you don't say it to yourself, nobody out in the world is going to tell you so. Right? So write this down. Write down I am. Write down about 5 of them, okay? Write down 5 I ams. And before you leave here today, make sure you have 5 down. And when you come talk to me, before you even tell me your name, before you even see me, you say, I am, not your name, you say, I am whatever you want to be. And then we can have a conversation, okay? Because I want you to start believing it. Like, you have to start doing it every day. Every day. Every day. Like, you have to train your mind every day. I wake up every day saying those things. The attitude of gratitude, reading my Bible, listening to motivational speeches, listening to inspirational music, because I'm able to put that in my system. Now I can give it out to the world, right? So, I'm going to end with this. I didn't even look at my notes, so I feel like I did a really good job. So if you start to win the day, and I have to do this because the way I wrote it down was really cool, and I'll forget it. So when you win the day, every day, you can manage Monday, then you can tackle Tuesday. And then once you tackle Tuesday, you can win on Wednesday. Once you win on Wednesday, you can triumph over Thursday. You can finish off Friday. You can succeed on Saturday, and you can feel satisfied on Sunday. And if you win the day, every day, you'll then win the week, you will then win the month, and then you'll then win the year. So every day, have the mindset of winning the day, okay? So, everyone stand up real quick as I wrap up. I want you to repeat after me. I can. I can. I will. I will. I must. I must. I can. I can. I will. I will. I must. Like say it like you mean it. I can. I will. I must. I can because I know I can. I will because I have goals that I want to achieve. I will because I have goals that I want to achieve. I must because I have people depending on me. I must because I have people depending on me. So again, let's wrap it up. 1, 2, 3. Win the day! Thanks, guys.